if we want to manifest multi-millions, we have to make sure our nervous system can hold for that. Because you know what happens if not?
We literally release it just as fast as it came in.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Made Different podcast. Today I'm here with Jessica Italian. I always say
Yeah.
Italian.
A lot of people say Italian and they think I'm Italian, and I am not Italian.
Are you not? Wait, actually,
No,
you're not.
no. And I'm from Jersey. So just people think I'm Italian.
Uh huh.
I'm
I
Armenian
okay.
and Russian.
I literally thought you were Italian. I don't even know because you never said that. But in my brain, I'm like, yeah, she is. Anyways, I am here. We're here, and we're gonna talk all things, everything. I feel like Jess and I, since we met, we just go on like these everything talks, and excited to see where this goes. But I know I wanted to go into manifestation, EFT, content creation,
Yes.
and just like the growth you've had in the past, even like in the past year, in the past couple months, you've just blown up. And
So
I feel like it
much.
all started when you released a really big opportunity that you've talked about on your Instagram and on your socials, even though it was
Hmm.
massive and you took the leap to not take it. So I don't want to start there. You want to share that journey?
Yeah. Wow. Well, there's definitely a couple of things that I decided to end or not take. So I don't know which one you're referring to, but I think it goes back to the beginning of this year.
Mm,
And I was working with someone, which is how me and Ruby met, which is so
yeah.
amazing. And I'm so grateful for it all. And I decided to part ways with that person. And through that, it's almost like the universe was just like, Jess, walk away, go work on your business. Walk away, go launch your business. Walk away, go focus on your fucking business. That's why
Hmm.
I started working with the person I was working with, because I wanted to learn how to do this shit. This was a whole new world of being a coach, teaching a way of life. I didn't know there was such thing as a life coach. And so I was getting all those signs, some of them being like full-blown anxiety attacks. I've always been in the fitness world. So there was a point where I was teaching boxing. If anyone knows Rumble Boxing, that's where I was teaching. I was the head trainer there, and I was on stage and I was getting a panic attack, anxiety attack, whatever you want to call it. I thought I was dying.
Hmm.
I thought I was dying. I thought I was going to pass out, hit my head, and die. Sounds dramatic, but that's what I thought in the moment. And after a lot of reflection, I realized I had a lot of things on my plate that were not fully serving me anymore.
Hmm.
And so, one of those, after lots of reflection, I had a powerful choice, and that was to leave Austin, which is where I was living, Austin, Texas, which at the same time, the universe presented me with a really good opportunity, and it was to work with Nike. Like literally,
Yeah.
just do it, Nike. And I was going to stay. I was going to stay work
Hmm.
for Nike. And I was like, this is the biggest opportunity ever. Like, Nike's the top of the top. How could I say no? And there was a night where it was really dark. That's all I'll say. It was probably one of the
Hmm.
darkest nights of my life. And I realized that my inner child wanted to move back to New Jersey, which is where I'm from. And so I did that. And I did that. And my nervous system was like full reset, even though I was regulating it throughout the time. It was just like I was like a different human when I moved back here. And I would say a couple months into being back here, I had some type of like, I don't remember what the thing was, honestly, but something went off in my mind. And it was like, stop giving a fuck about what other people think. Stop
Hmm.
giving a fuck about your posts being too much, you being too cringy, you being too annoying, all those like old limiting beliefs that like,
Mm-hmm.
was came from when I was younger. And I just said, fuck it. And I said, I am just going to start teaching all about manifestation because I've studied it for over 5 years, but I've always kind of kept my mouth shut on the internet because of
Right.
limiting beliefs.
Dude, isn't that how it always goes though? We're so scared of judgment from the outside that we stop ourselves. And there's so many freaking roads I want to go with this because you know us, we just go on tangents all the time. But like your story just goes to show the power of staying in something for way too long after we know it's expired and hiding behind someone else's shadow. Because you were working for, I know who you were working for, but it would have been so easy for you to stay.
So easy. And it wasn't easy to leave. It wasn't easy to leave, but I finally did it. And like you said, I was definitely in it way longer, but everything happens for a reason. And boy, did
Totally.
I write all my lessons down that I learned. And I could smell that energy. Like I
Ah,
could smell it from a mile away now
wow. Wow.
if I sense that anywhere around me.
Totally. Totally. Because it's a heavy energy. I'm like, I don't even know what to say, so it's not like super obvious, right? But it's like a certain energy. I know what you're talking about because I've been in the presence of that energy, not to the extent of working with them like you, but it's definitely something that can become very toxic very soon, very quick. And I feel like that's
And
part of the online space too in general.
yeah, the scary part of it is that it's like a an energy that is manipulative in a way that you can't see it from the outside. It's like a different level of manipulative narcissistic energy.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least
Yeah,
I couldn't see it when I first went into it.
for sure. Because then you wouldn't have gone into it. Like it. Yes, and the best word I could describe for that is I came back from an experience where we met. It was the cultiest shit I've ever experienced in my life. What the
And people were telling me, and I was like, no, I was
yeah,
like ignoring it. Like people were literally
totally.
telling me, and I was just like, no, like my lesson, I mean, I guess it wasn't my time to see it right away.
For sure.
But yeah. And yeah, that's definitely something that I've been wanting to talk about on a podcast is I don't know if I would call it the online space or more the spiritual space. How like
Definitely the spiritual space.
it could be very manipulative.
Totally. Actually, that's where we're going with this conversation. Just decided that's where we're
Yes,
taking
please.
it.
I got the chills. Yep, let's go.
Girl. Because I've been dying to talk about this topic too.
Yeah.
There's, okay. So when it comes to spirituality, in my experience, and I want to hear yours too, there's always something wrong with you. And you're always constantly working on something. And if you react a
Mm,
certain way, where's the trauma? What is wrong with you? What can you fix? How can you be better? And dude,
wow.
sometimes I just want to not be okay and be okay with that. You know,
Oof. I never thought of it like that. And you're so fucking right.
it's so toxic, bro. Like when I stepped out of it, I came back to my normal life. I was like, what the fuck did I just experience?
And then they make it seem like those who left are not the one, are not like they're
Yeah,
weird, they're wrong.
they're not ready.
Literally. And then
Yeah.
for me, I was very new into the space, in the spiritual space.
Hmm.
I've always done personal development, but I was so new into all of that world. So I was like sucked in.
Yeah. It's so easy to get stuck.
It's so easy because you're
Oh,
being vulnerable. You're being,
totally.
I was, I've never been so vulnerable in my life
Hmm.
besides like those spaces were my most vulnerable.
Totally. And I mean, the fact that these people stand in front of a group of very fragile individuals, because that's who shows up, right? Like, extremely fragile, looking for their last resort. And they're like, come and share
Yeah.
your deepest, darkest, most like vulnerable secrets. And we're all going to hold space for you. And there was people sharing some crazy shit that I'm like, that should not be shared here. It should be in therapy rooms or NLP or something that's really going to help the nervous system, not a group of strangers that are preaching shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
It, it's scary. So, what was that experience for you? So, you were new to the spiritual world. You came in,
Yeah.
and they made you feel special, helped, provide. What was that like? Because you were in it. You were basically the right hand to the major people.
Yeah. It was powerless. I gave my power away a lot. It's like people who think that they have authority over you, or if you can understand the energy of like people who use authority as power, get the fuck away from them. Get the fuck away from them. And it's interesting because I'm not going to say this person's name, but there's another person who I discovered on Instagram, TikTok, has nothing to do with that community. Just like another
Gotcha.
woman, actually. And she reposted something the other day about like people copying her content. And she teaches the laws of the universe. She teaches manifestation. She teaches all these things. And I'm like, you didn't make this up, okay? This
Right.
is coming from way above. It
Ancient.
is
Yeah.
it's meant for all of us to teach this. And as a light leader, you should want people to share this information. And so she like had posted something on her story. There was like a threat, like she had threatened to get her lawyer. And I was just like, I just smelt like that authority energy. And I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm the top, I'm the best. Like there's a difference between being confident and like
Hmm.
I'm the top, I'm the best. Like I am the one who you get this information from. Everyone else is a fraud.
Dude, it's
And I was like, unfollow. I actually haven't physically unfollowed her, but I need to unfollow her.
that's and there's so many people like that in the spiritual community, I feel like.
Yeah.
And it is so sad. And me working on podcasts, because obviously I have my podcast company and I've worked with some great, incredible people and both business owners, spirituality leaders, spiritual leaders, whatever you want to call them. You see their behind the scenes, and it is a crazy back there. It's
Girl,
insane.
behind the scenes, talk. I lived in Austin, Texas. I think that says enough. If
You
you
saw
know,
it
you
all.
know. I saw so much behind the scenes and not judging them at all because we do not judge here. But
It's there's a lack of integrity, I feel like.
huge lack of integrity. And that was with the person who I was working with. He preaches integrity. He is so, that world is, that community is so out of integrity.
It is, dude.
Not
It's
here to talk shit. I'm here to
no.
use my voice, right? I'm the voice
Yes.
for the voiceless, which is exactly one of the notes he shared with me to use my voice. So here I am using my
You're using your
voice.
voice and sharing your experience.
I'm sharing
And
my
like,
truth.
exactly,
Like
exactly.
it's all love at the end of the day. Like I'm sending any community that is dark so much love and light because they are the
Hmm.
ones who need it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's such a lack of integrity in the spiritual world. And because it is so public and online and it's trending and it's all the stuff, I feel like so many people fall for a lot of this narcissistic behavior. And
Unfortunately,
w-
they do. I was
Yeah,
going to say, and I think it's so important to also highlight how, because this is what's been stopping me from talking about it, is the fact that I don't want to prevent people from going on the path of like healing and self-discovery and personal development, because
right.
it's not all that we've been talking about for this whole
Totally.
podcast, but I would love to give the listeners like some tips on how to spot it.
Let's do that. And before we into that, I also want to say that when you're in when you're in a self-development journey, does not mean you have to go down the spiritual route either. And I
Right.
think that's something that gets so confused on the online space. Like you can manifest without being spiritual because
Yeah.
manifestation, and you know this, Jess, it's a science at the end of the day. They can coexist, but
Yeah.
it's not like they don't have to be exclusively together. And I think that's
Yeah.
really important because so many
Mm.
people think like manifestation and angel numbers are not their angel number. I call them angel numbers, but
Like
all the,
numerology.
yes, all this stuff does not have to be spiritual.
Right. And then a lot of people get like when I moved back home to New
Uh-huh.
Jersey, I met up with a friend who I hadn't connected with in 10 years. And she's just like, I'm going down the spiritual journey. And I just saw her, she has all these questions about all these things. And I'm
Mm,
like, I like, I just felt like she was at a place where I once was. And I'm like, just like the innocence of someone feeling like they don't have power and it's a whole, almost like it's a whole new world, but it's not. And like I think that's kind of like something that I want to tap into is like stand on your 2 feet and allow other people's perspectives, things like you like be so fucking strong with your intuition and just really try to listen to that with everything. It's so
mm.
you take it step by step. You don't have to fully dive into the deep end.
Totally. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's so important to for you to remember, and I have to remember this too. No one's here to save me, and relying on some quote unquote spiritual leader, spiritual teacher to save me and tell me how I'm gonna be saved. That is so defeating.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's what it was for me.
Yeah.
I think I was looking for someone to kind of save me. And it's
Mm.
not like I was fully lost, but I think I started to feel lost when I started to see it, if that makes any sense.
Hmm. Yeah. Because that's it goes back to where we started of there's always something wrong with you. You need
Yes.
to constantly be fixing yourself. And there's some rooted trauma that you need. And some valid. I mean, NLP is so real. But it's okay to be fucking human. It's so
Yeah.
okay to not be like fully healed. And like, it's okay to
Girl,
have shitty days. And it's okay to like just be fucking human. And this year, 2024, for me was that.
I love
Be
that.
human, dude. That was my word. It was be human.
Hmm.
And it's been a game changer because last year was a very like I had been doing spiritual work for years. I want to say since like I started my business in 2018-ish. And last year was really intense where I kind of started realizing like, wait, this is not the vibe I want. This is weird. And I was actually tempted to stay with that particular community because I love true crime. I'm obsessed with true crime, and I'm like, this is a cult in the making. I want to see how does this evolve? But then I was like, no, no, mental health should stay in check right now. But it's so easy to get caught up on it. So last year was very like eye opening for me. I stopped working with certain people and just like realizing that even people that walk into the spiritual world with the best intentions, when they get to a certain level, they change, bro. They
Yeah.
really change. And it's sad. But there's a balance, just like everything else. And like you say, use your intuition to
Yeah.
know what's best for you. So what are some red flags, I guess, that people can look out for.
Ooh, okay. Red flags is like everyone idolizing the leader. So if you come into my community, the Manifestation Academy, people might compliment me, but I by no means am going to encourage people to idolize me. It is
You're
not
not,
about
you
me.
can't do exorcisms.
No, I cannot do exorcisms.
Boo, Jess. Just kidding.
We're going there. If you know, you know.
uh,
But yeah, idolizing the leader.
hmm,
Yes, it's and as leaders, it's important to share your story so that people can connect with you. Yes, I'm going
totally.
to talk about myself. I'm going to talk about how I manifested a brand new Porsche Macan, how I manifested my dream
Which,
apartment in Miami.
congrats for
Thank
that.
you. Thank you. Talk about how I'm financially free now, finally, when I was just fucking struggling, running my savings dry, was driving a beat up Toyota Camry, couldn't pay health insurance.
Mhm.
But it's to share where I came from so that people can relate to it, not for people to idolize me.
Absolutely. And there's a difference between being inspired by your mentors and your business coaches and whatever you want to call, and there's idolizing and treating them as if they're literal God in the flesh.
And that woman who I was speaking about earlier, it feels
Mm-hmm.
like her clients also, now that I'm feeling into it, idolize her.
Mm-hmm. That's a red flag.
Um,
You
yeah.
don't want to end
So,
up in a cult.
no. What's a red flag for you, Ruby?
So many. One of the biggest red flags for me has to be when they're speaking to their audience versus with their audience. And I've gotten really
Mm.
good at identifying that, especially being in the podcasting world, where if a mentor is kind of telling you what to do
Mm.
versus this is how I did it, but use your own judgment,
Okay.
try
Yes,
it.
yes.
I think that is one of the one, it's a turn off for me, and two, it's the biggest red flag. Like, why are you telling me what's best for me? I want to hear your
Yes.
story, your method, and then I apply it. Versus, does that make sense?
That makes so much sense. And I learned that from being in the community because for me, I always, and it's interesting because I always feel like my old self told people what to do because I thought I was helping them. I thought it
Yes,
was me helping them by me telling them my experience, but I wasn't because my truth isn't their truth. So I will always tell them, this is what I did. It worked really well. But if I feel like this should be my tattooed across my fucking mustache. It should say, if it doesn't align with you, don't do it.
literally. And obviously, there's like methods. Like you have your manifestation academy. Like you have a process, and
Yeah.
the people that come into it, they know they're learn and to like get the method, get the process. But there's a very big difference between I know everything and everything I do is correct versus this is what worked for me. Let me share it with you. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
what's another like little red flag for you?
Another red flag for me when it comes to unwell. This is tough. I feel like I have to like really feel into this one. So I feel like the one that
I
I
feel,
said, sorry, say it again.
no, I was gonna say I feel like these red flags could also fall into any relationship, not just the spiritual community.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you for saying that. Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned earlier, if it's all about them and not really about you, like
Mm-hmm.
if they tell you your ideas are shit, that's a red
Did that
flag.
happen to you?
Yeah.
Oh,
I am not
well,
paying my
jokes on
assistant that
them.
much. Hey, this is what your friend pays their assistants because your friend that's online, I could see it. And this is what Tony Robbins pays his assistant. And this is
Mm-hmm.
what you pay your assistant. 10, how much percentage was it? It was like a quarter of what it was.
Yeah, girl.
I'm like,
Oh my god.
shit. But that just goes back to me not knowing my worth too. I didn't really know my worth at that time.
Totally. And you're never going to do that again. So,
Never.
even though it was like, fuck, a shitty situation, so many lessons were learned, I'm sure, just like with anything else.
So many lessons, and I'm so grateful. I felt like I was like the chosen one to go through it. And
Mm.
I'm so happy that I did. I really am because I feel like the people that I am now, I know I have big energy. Like I have big energy. I don't know if I would say a big presence, but I just feel like I have just like a big authentic energy. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very like expressive. And I feel like it draws a lot of people in. And I love that because now I get to share what my experiences have been so that
Totally.
they don't end up down that hole.
For sure, 100%. And I think
Because I don't want
that's,
anyone down there. I don't want
no,
anyone down there.
mm-mm. It's not a cute space to be. And although it beneficial, because I feel like for me, the spirituality or the spiritual community industry had its purpose in my life. I learned so much from it. And I also
Hmm.
learned, just like any toxic relationship, what I don't want in the next chapter. So, real quick, before you continue listening to this episode, which I know you're enjoying because you're still here, I wanted to do a quick little check in with you and see how you're doing. Because so many times we just go through our day not even asking ourselves or checking in with ourselves. And that's how a lot of resentment and like burnout and all this nasty little things build up. So I want you to take a moment and just check in with yourself. How are you doing today? Like, honestly, I don't know about you, but I'm a big fan of journaling. I think it's a key factor that really changed my life, and it is one of the reasons I've manifested so many things in my life. And that is why I created my own prompted journal, which you can find right now on Amazon. It's called Journaled, 222 journal prompts to explore your thoughts and discover yourself. And I'm mentioning this because one, I think journaling is such a massive thing, but two, I think if you're listening to this, you're someone that wants to constantly improve yourself or make yourself be and show up as the best version of you. So, yes, this episode is sponsored by myself, by Journaled. And this is just your invitation and reminder to pick up your copy. I will leave the link in the show notes or in the description for you to grab your own copy, and we could continue 2025 journaling together. I think it's super sick. All right, let's get back into the episode.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Same. As much as I've been like
um,
sharing my truth and it's very like bold, if you will.
yeah,
Like I will forever ever say I love that person. I'm grateful for this person. I'm grateful for this
totally.
community. I'm sending them love from afar, big far. Like I
Nice.
have them no contact at all. But just like energetically, because we can do that. We
Yeah,
can send people love energetically. And I do that because I truly am so grateful. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for that experience.
absolutely. And now you know how you want to lead versus how you don't want to lead as you step
Yes.
into your personal brand and your business, which I want to talk about a little bit because in the past year, I want to say, couple months, maybe a year, I've seen you blossom into the most amazing like content creator, business owner. Like, you're fucking killing it out there.
Thank you.
So, what was that transition for you? So you leave this toxic, very weird energy, let's call it, for lack of a better word, and you move into the space of authenticity and teaching what you've learned and using your voice. What was that journey? I know EFT was a big part of it.
Yes, EFT tapping was a huge part of it. Learning NLP, neuro linguistic programming, which basically is the power of how our words and our thoughts are shaping our reality, which many people teach just in different ways. None of this is new information, it's been around forever. But I would have to really say what changed from then to now is treating my business like it was a business. Do you
Mm,
remember when I sent you my job description for my business?
yes, I do. Because it was
Didn't,
right before you started your podcast.
yeah, because didn't you recommend I do that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
had
And
written
so,
a contract with myself if I was hiring myself as an employee.
yes. And I was so
Yes.
inspired. And that's what I did. I wrote a job description for me and my business and my podcast. And
Hmm.
that was like the start. And that, like, I treated it as if it was a multi-million dollar business. So, does a multi-million dollar business have a business credit card and a business debit card account? Yes. So
Absolutely.
I went and opened one. Do you have to do that starting out? No. You get your own professional advice, but you
Right.
don't have to do.
We're like, we're not professional in that sense. So,
Yeah. Just there, just sharing from experience.
yeah.
But it's just an example of how I was treating it like a fucking business. And then I decided to get a coaching certification. And that's what
Mm.
NLP was, EFT tapping. I just got breathwork certified, time techniques, all these amazing tools that teach you how to rewire your subconscious mind and chill out your nervous system. And why is that important? Because when we are transitioning, when we are growing into a new way of being, sometimes our old self is still there and we kind of have to like give her like a warm welcome and a warm goodbye and
Yeah.
give her the ease and the flow and regulate ourselves because it's a new way of being. So it's again, if I'm stepping into manifesting multi-million dollars,
We
like
love
I
the
have
gold
to.
bills. Let
I
me
know,
see that. That's
I got
so
it from a
cute.
crystal store.
Oh, I love it.
If we want to manifest multi-millions, we have to make sure our nervous system can hold for that because you know what happens if not.
We literally release it just as fast as it came in.
Yeah, and it can get way too, you can get way too. It's like people getting fame too quickly and they can't hold on to it. People winning the
Yep,
lottery, they can't hold on to it.
absolutely. And you're the queen of EFT tapping. I did a session with you. How
I
long ago was that?
know.
Like a couple months
A
ago?
couple months ago, yeah.
And it's just game changing.
I tap
You're
every
incredible
single
at it.
day.
Can
Oh,
you
thank
show
you.
us, for those watching, a little video, like a
Yes.
little tap routine that you would do?
Yeah. Should we do one right now?
Let's do it.
Okay. So let's tap into having a great day.
Mm,
And let's say yesterday wasn't like the best day, but today we're manifesting a great day.
I love
Sounds
that
good?
how aligned that is because yesterday was a crazy ass day for me. So this is perfect.
Yay! And we'll do a short one. Normally we do 4 rounds. We go through the negative feeling, which is very important because you have to feel it to heal it. And then we go in through the
Mm.
positive. But for this being that we are just doing it for a quick little round, we're going to just tap into the positive. And before we start, I just want to invite you, Ruby, and everyone else who's watching this on whatever platform, whatever time, to just take full responsibility of how you feel and for anything that comes up.
Cool.
Cool. So we're going to start tapping here at the karate chop, we call it, and just repeat after me.
Mm.
Today, I choose to tap into the frequency
Today I choose to tap into the frequency
of having an amazing day.
of having an amazing day.
And I
And
deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love and accept myself.
love and accept.
Today, I'm tapping into
Today I am tapping into
the frequency of having an amazing day.
the frequency of having an amazing day.
And I deeply and completely
I deeply and completely
love and accept myself.
love and accept myself.
Good. Relax your hands. Take a deep breath in your nose, out of the mouth. And we're going to start tapping at the top of the head. Even though yesterday
And though yes,
may not have been the best day,
may have not been the best day,
top of the eyebrow, and I had some things that happened
things that happen
that might have thrown my energy off.
that might turn my energy.
Side of the eye. But the good thing is today's a new day.
But the good thing is that today is a new day.
Under the eye. And I can make today a much better day.
and I can make today much
Under the nose, I am choosing to make today a great day.
choosing to make
Chin, I am excited for the day. Collarbone, I'm ready to have a great day today.
I'm ready to have a great day today.
Under the arm, and I'm letting go of anything that's stopping me.
I'm letting go of anything that stopped me.
Good. Relax your hands, deep breath in the nose, expand the belly, out of the mouth. And we'll do one more round. Top of the head. I am so excited for today.
I'm so excited.
Top of the eyebrow. I am choosing to make today
Choosing to make today
a great day.
great.
Side of the eye. A day filled with abundance,
A day filled with abundance,
alignment.
alignment,
Under the eye. Excitement, joy.
joy.
Under the nose. I am so ready for today.
I'm so ready today.
Chin. I'm claiming it.
Claiming it,
I'm claiming all the opportunities
claiming all the opportunities.
that come to me. Collarbone are going to support me.
For
Under the armpit. And I am so ready
I'm so ready.
to take action toward my goals today.
Thank you, universe.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Relax and let's take a deep breath in your nose and out of your mouth. And just take a moment to visualize the rest of your day. What action steps are you going to take today that are in alignment with how you feel? And when you're ready, you can come back into the room and open your eyes.
It was so good. Oh my god.
Yay.
Um,
So, but did anything come up for you? Do you want to share anything?
I feel like so much, and for me right now, what came up was a very clear reminder that I get to control my energy and how the day plays out. Just because there was a bad moment or a bad day or whatever it was, like I get full control of what happened.
Yes.
And that's
That's
just so
huge.
powerful. Because I feel like going back to the be human thing, it's so easy to get in our head on, well, I'm not good enough, or oh my God, this problem came as business owners, shit's always happening, good and
Yeah.
bad, and it all coexists.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, just navigating so much stuff of money and hiring and whatever else, there's so much stuff. And it tapping really helped me center back into it all works out. It all like it's okay.
Yes. Yeah, and so for those who've never heard of it before, basically it's a scientific backed technique that
Mm-hmm.
reduces your stress levels, your cortisol levels by 40% in a single session. That's why you feel so good after. And so imagine you doing that every day, tapping on something that is a limiting belief or something that doesn't feel good. You're literally tapping it out of your body and you're tapping in what you want to feel. Because on these specific points that we're tapping on that are called meridian points, they hold stuck energy. And so you have to move through it, or else you don't have to, but then it's going to stay in your body. So tap that shit out.
No, that was
Literally, no
so
pun intended.
good. Yeah. I feel like there's so much just power when it comes to whether it's manifestation or EFT tapping or boarding or whatever. It's a solid reminder of you're capable of so much,
We
but
are
you just have to
so
be
capable.
consistent.
Consistency
Yes.
is the biggest key. So big.
Dude.
Like when I started tapping consistently, that's when I hit my highest month in business. When I tap consistently, when I do my breath work, when I do my visual, when I do all my manifestation practices, I am manifesting
Mhm.
things like Porsches,
Yes.
like
Which
big
amazing. Again,
bucks.
congrats on that because that is wild. I saw
I
that that you're
literally,
like I
I,
remember seeing your story. I'm going to go like test drive my dream car. Next story is I bought it. I was like, of course you did. Of course you did.
are you all my close friends?
I think so, yes. I
I'm like
was
going
like,
to
of
test drive my
course.
dream car. I left the dealership with my dream car. Girl, it doesn't make sense how it happened. Like I literally don't have a car payment. Like I manifested buying the entire car. I
That is
I
crazy.
didn't have I had $2,000 come out of my pocket. That's it.
What?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that whole story. I don't know
I
if you're gonna
I'm
talk about it on your podcast or what, but
I want to make a podcast about it and a TikTok about it because everyone's been
yes.
asking me and I just
Yes.
haven't felt ready to share it yet.
Right. And that's another thing. You don't have to share everything on social media. Some things
Right.
get to stay sacred until you feel ready to share.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm learning. Yeah. Cause I'm like, I want to share it because I want to show
Yeah.
others how, but honestly, the Porsche is literally just a physical representation of the consistency that I've been putting the fuck in my inner work and
Mm,
my manifestations and in my personal development. That's all it is.
that is so.
I was robbed 2 years ago. I got all my designer bags stolen from me when I first moved to Austin.
I think I remember that. I don't know what was that like right after the
Yeah, it
where
was
we
right when
met.
yeah, and it was right when I moved to Austin. So you probably do remember it.
That
Yeah,
is
the universe
wild.
said,
And
I'm gonna give you something else. I'm gonna give you a car. I'm gonna give you a new car.
totally. No, I love that. And sometimes it does take that 2 years or whatever. And our
Yeah,
job is to stay patient and continue showing up.
showing
And
up.
like, that just goes to show being consistent, how you choose to view things that happen for you versus to
Mhm.
you. Like such little things that it's just a mindset shift. I have no idea where I was going with this rant, but I think it's
Um,
just like
being patient and trusting because like the
yes,
timing, you might see it overnight, it may not happen overnight. And there's always a
totally.
breakdown before a breakthrough.
Always. And so releasing what's going on because not everything's happening to you. Get out of victimhood, get out of, and that's where I was going victimhood because that's where
Yeah,
you could have stayed after you got robbed because it was all your designer bags. Hello, I would have cried for months.
literally over $10,000 worth of items that I bought with my own money because I didn't have no sugar daddy.
Right.
But I'm I played victim for like the first day. I was like, I saw a
Mhm.
Range Rover. I was like, why the fuck they didn't break into the Range Rover? Why my I had a
Yeah,
Lexus. I'm like, yeah, Lexuses are nice, but like a Range Rover is nicer. I'm like, why the fuck not
totally.
them? I was like, why me? Why me? Why me? Playing victim. And so it took me some time, but I got out of it. And man, it for those listening to this, and you know what victim mentality versus ownership mentality, if you know what that
Yeah.
is, and if you don't know what that is, dive deeper into it. Ask ChatGPT, listen to some podcasts. But
We love ChatGPT. Shout out, sponsor me. Thanks.
yes, we are not sponsored. We are manifesting being sponsored by ChatGPT. But like
Motherfucker.
getting out of victim mentality with everything in your life is like a power move. That's a
The
life hack.
key.
That
Yes.
should be a law of the universe.
No, literally. Like it is the biggest key. And it could be applied to everything and anything. Money, finances, same thing.
Yes.
Relationships,
My
like
my job doesn't
everything.
pay my job doesn't pay me enough. I don't make enough money for that.
Hmm.
Bitch, then take fucking action, get an ownership
Exactly.
and do something about it.
Exactly.
But
Oh,
it's and if that is you, I truly like to say that it's not our fault and
no.
that might be playing victim, but also there's like another side to it is that's what society passed down to us
It's what
as we
it's
were born.
ingrained.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then also if you want to tap into like cultures or like races, there's so many
there's
that
so
go so
much.
many things that like go into it. So it's not your fault. And at the same time, when you become aware, so by listening to this podcast or watching Justice Live right now, you're becoming aware of the victim mentality. Therefore, you get to change it.
Exactly. Awareness is the first step.
Absolutely. I feel like we could go into so many topics and like just sit here for and ever and talk. But I want to end it with some very tangible tips for the listener. Whether they, let's go here, they are sitting in the victim mentality of, well, nothing ever works out for me. People don't want to work with me. I want to be a content creator, but I just don't know what to make and no one likes me. And you know that little
Yeah.
shitty voice in the head. What is step one that they could do after listening to this to
Okay.
start
Yeah.
shifting that?
So I want you to take out a piece of paper. I make put a line down the middle and write everything that you don't want down. Write all your limiting beliefs, everything that you don't want. I don't want to be broke anymore. I don't want a job that pays me shit. I don't want to not be a content creator. And then on the other side, write everything that you do want. Sometimes it's the exact opposite because that's going to give you and bring you awareness. As for
Okay.
that,
I love that. So then what do they do with that list? Second step.
okay, so second step, once you now know what you want, there's a couple things. What are three action steps that you can take for each thing that you want? And maybe they're small because they don't have to be big. The small steps lead to the big steps. So let's say one of the things that you want is a new job that allows you to have freedom. So maybe that job that you want is to be a content creator. Maybe it's being a coach, maybe it's being an influencer, whatever it is. Great. We have the awareness. Three action steps. Maybe it's to start recording content, practicing. You don't have to upload
Mm,
everything you record, but you got to practice. You got to start somewhere. Maybe it's making an Instagram or a TikTok. Maybe it is following other people on the internet who are doing what you want to do and then do it.
love this.
And then
And
do
then
it.
do it. The action is so important because it's so easy to stay in the dreamland and the envisioning and all that stuff, but the action is so crucial. Jazz, this was
Yes.
so good. And
This
like
was
I said, we could talk
amazing.
for hours and hours,
Yes.
which is why we're going to start doing lives in the new year sometime. We'll announce it. We'll announce it whenever we decide to start doing that. But where can everyone find you? How can they sign up for the Manifestation Academy? All this stuff.
Yes. So I have the entire handle on Instagram because 2 years ago, for some reason, I got the handle, the Manifestation Academy, and completely
Mhm.
forgot about it. And I was like, wait, don't I have something with manifestation? I have an Instagram. I literally have the handle. Like, that's such a good handle. So, at the Manifestation Academy, or you can come to my personal one, which I'm on mostly at jessica.tillion. Those are both Instagram. My podcast is A Stronger You. We're going to have Ruby on when I start having guests on again.
Cannot wait.
Let's see. And yeah, website, astrongeryou.com. That's the business name, A Stronger You, baby.
Perfect.
And yeah, I would be honored for y'all to come play with us. Come
I
play.
love it. I love it. I love it so much. Thank you for coming on and just tapping and chatting with me a little bit. This was
It's so
so,
good.
thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Made Different podcast. It was so cool. If you loved it and if you did the EFT tapping with us, make sure to share it with us on Instagram and tell us what you got from it. I cannot wait. Bye.